Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with field hockey coach Gina, volleyball captain Elly Cosgrove, and football captain Collin Sherman. But first, here's a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Men's soccer opened up ODAC play with a 4-1 win over Virginia Wesleyan. Women's soccer secured a 1-1 road draw with Randolph-Macon and then beat St. Mary's 2-1 in overtime. Women's cross country won both the 5K and 6K races at the Hornet Harrier Commonwealth Challenge in Kernstown, while W&L also placed second in the men's 6K competition. Volleyball went 1-2 at the Eastern University Quad, besting Widener at 3-2, while dropping 3-1 decisions to Johns Hopkins and the host Eagles. And field hockey upset undefeated and 7th-ranked Christopher Newport, downing the captains 3-2 at the W&L Turf Field. Here with me in the studio is field hockey coach Gina Wills. Gina, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
That was a big win for your team on Saturday. How did everything come together for the Generals in that game?
Yeah, we've faced some really tough competition to start the season this year, so we've learned a lot about ourselves and what we needed to improve on as a team to be the best team that we could be. And it was exciting to see. I think we played a really nice game in transition on Saturday, so everyone was playing together as the ball transitioned either from offense to defense or defense to offense, and we were able to gain possession again quickly and create some counterattacks that led to some scoring opportunities on some set pieces, and then we're able to capitalize with that. So it was nice to kind of see everything come together and for us to create those opportunities for ourselves and put us in a position where we could be successful at the end of the game.
Can you use a victory like that to jumpstart your season?
Yeah, I think what it shows for the team is that we've really, the work that we're putting in is taking us where we need to go. And I think at the end of the game, we really talked about how it was a great feeling and a great team effort, but we remembered how much work it took that we put in so far in the season, and then also in that game just to be able to compete against a strong opponent like that. It takes a full team effort for a full 70 minutes, and I think the team has learned a lot from that, but it definitely helped build our confidence and show us that we can compete in those tough situations.
The Generals had struggled to score goals early on in the year, but you put 3 on the board against CNU. How can you build off of that performance on the offensive end?
Yeah, it was great, really exciting to see the offense coming together. Great help, again, in transit. A lot of it was created in the transition. So the work that our forwards are putting in the midfield and the backs, helping them, and us being able to keep the ball on offense, and then also just create some opportunities for ourselves, and then the work that we've been putting in set pieces. So it's definitely a game that's won between the 25s and that effort that's put in as the ball changes possession. So it showed that we can put it all together, and I think will give us that confidence that we need.
The team's ODAC schedule begins this weekend as you take on Shenandoah. What's the scouting report on the conference in 2018?
Again, the ODAC is always strong. The top, 6, 8, everyone's competing on any given day, and so it's exciting and fun as a coach to see. Shenandoah has been really strong so far this season. They've played some close, tough games, and it's just really being prepared and focusing on us. What we've talked about all season is just being the best team that we can be every day, and going into each conference game and working to play our best effort for those 70 minutes. So any day it could be anybody's game, but just having that confidence in ourselves and the work that we're putting in and playing for that full game.
Gina, thanks for being here. Best of luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
With me is Collin Sherman, senior football captain from Virginia Beach. Collin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to look back at the first 2 games of the year. You opened the season with an overtime win against Dickinson. It was the first time the Generals had won a season-opening game on the road in almost half a century. You then put together a pretty great all-around performance at Sewanee. How pleased have you been with the first 2 contests?
Yeah, I mean, starting off the season like that, it was an exciting game, a little too close for comfort for us out there on the field, but it was a good win to start off the season, and then, of course, going to Sewanee and having a good all-around game. Defense played awesome, as they did in the first week, and then offense, we really got some stuff going. So we're excited, yeah, very happy with how it started off.
By the time the Generals take the field for a big ODAC game against Randolph-Macon on Saturday, it's going to be your first contest in 21 days. Yeah. How has the team handled this unexpectedly long layoff?
Yeah, it was a little disappointing, obviously, when we were missing that one game now, but It allowed us to do a lot of different stuff in practice. It was almost like a second preseason. We had a little bit more compete periods, got a little physical with each other, and it gave us that chance to get a good balance of rest, but also hard work, and we got a really good game plan coming in this week with that extra preparation time.
The Generals are working in some new personnel on your side of the ball, and of course there was the coaching change with Garrett LaRose taking over the program. How is the offense coming along this year?
Yeah, we've added some new wrinkles in there. We've changed some small things here and there. The offense is really starting to click now. I think we're really going to be able to see that in ODAC play. We've got a lot of our main plays in the playbook now, and really just polished it off, especially over these last 2 weeks of preparation we've had for this game. And some new wrinkles coming in for this week against Randolph-Macon, so we're really excited about that, and just can't wait to start playing again.
What are the team's expectations for the ODAC this year?
As always, we want to compete for that ODAC championship. We were voted #1 preseason poll, and although you can't put too much into that, we think that's where we deserve to be, and we want to show that through this ODAC season.
Well, Collin, thanks for joining us. Best of luck with ODAC play.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Joining me now is Elly Cosgrove, senior volleyball captain from Wilmington, North Carolina. Elly, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Things have been a little up and down for the Generals early in 2018. You've struggled with some injuries. You've also faced some really tough competition. What needs to happen for W&L to become a bit more consistent?
Yeah, we definitely faced some injuries early on, and the first one came with Courtney Berry hurting her ankle, which was actually in a scrimmage during preseason. And then Allison Webb, our two big hitters, both got injured early. So that was kind of something we had to work through, but it was nice because we got some new players on the court who got to see some playing time. So just to kind of in the future work through that. I think right now it's just getting our offense and defense on the same page. I think some games our offense is really strong and maybe our defense isn't what it had been in previous games, and then other games will have really strong defense, but maybe really not terminating on the offensive end. So I think right now it's just kind of getting those to work together and also coming together on the people who are on the floor. We talk about injuries, anyone could be on the floor at any point, so it's just we have to make sure whoever is on the floor that we're working on that chemistry and just coming together as a team instead of individual players, if that makes sense.
You've taken over at the libero position this season. How have you adjusted to a different role on the court?
I really enjoyed it. It's actually funny, I was talking to Coach Snyder. I started my volleyball career in 4th grade as a libero, and that was the first position I ever played, and then obviously went to middle outside, and now it's come full circle, and I'm ending my senior year as a libero, which is kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. I was a DS last year, so it's not a huge positional transition, but being in 5 versus 6 is a little different as far as positioning with the different hitters on the other side, but it's been really fun and I really enjoy it. Allie Case, who's also a DS libero junior on the team, has been super supportive and helpful in telling me where my positioning should be and just adjusting to the block and the hitters on the other team. So it's just been really fun.
W&L's biggest ODAC match of the season takes place tonight as you travel to Randolph-Macon. How is the team approaching this match?
Yeah, so last time we were in Randolph-Macon's gym, obviously it was the ODAC final last year. Barely lost in the 5th set by 2, so that was a heartbreaker. So I'm actually really excited to go back and just play super hard because I think all last season or last off season we used that as kind of fuel for our fire. Every time we were doing off-season workouts or anything, we kind of thought of that game and push ourselves harder. So it's just exciting to go back to that gym and just compete with them again. They're a great program, a really strong team. So it's kind of fun, when you have these conference rival matches, and I think we're just really excited to go and ball out. So,
even after tonight, well over half of the regular season schedule is still in front of you. What can the Generals accomplish in 2018?
Honestly, we've talked about it a lot. This is kind of a wild card year. There's been a lot of interesting upsets that have happened, and I think it's really anyone's game at this point. Every game we go to, we could win or lose. We just can't take anyone for granted. So we just need to show up to every single game. We were talking, I think CNU lost to Valwez, Virginia Wesleyan or something like that, and then Wittenberg's only loss is to CNU. So there's just a lot up in the air right now in D3 volleyball, especially within the ODAC. So we just need to make sure we're showing up to every game, not taking anyone for granted, and also when we have the opportunity to play those really good teams, taking advantage of those and playing really hard.
Elly, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the year.
Thank you for having me.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. Men's tennis heads to Mary Washington for the ITA Southeast Region Championships, which get underway on Thursday. Men's cross country travels to Charlotte for Friday's Queen City Invite. Back in Lexington, it's Parents and Family Weekend. Women's soccer gets a busy Saturday slate underway with a noon kickoff against Bridgewater, while field hockey takes on Shenandoah. Football plays host to Randolph-Macon, and men's soccer will also entertain the Yellow Jackets. Volleyball hits the road for ODAC matches against Ferrum and Bridgewater, and women's golf will compete at the Williams Fall Invitational. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.